So today we have some breaking news coming out of the LEC. This does revolve around the Fnatic bot lane. Obviously, Fnatic is a very interesting roster that's had a lot of speculation and rumors going on this offseason. There's been many people saying, hey, they should swap the mid lane, they should swap the bot lane, they should just swap AD carry, they should just swap support. There's been people saying we want Upset, or we want Mickey, or we want Ruler. You know, there's people throwing out all different kinds of names and different things. We've heard lots of different possibilities. But today we know another piece of the puzzle that is going on. Obviously, we had previously heard that Noah is going to be going to GiantX, leaving that AD carry position open and kind of letting people talk about all the different possibilities there. But now today we have news from Eros that another member of their bot lane will be moving on and going to a new team in 2025 as well. Obviously, that means June is on his way out. June is actually headed to GiantX. This is reported by Eros. He's telling me the details and stuff here. And this is obviously a very, very big deal. That now means that Fnatic will have both bot lane positions open, and obviously that's going to lead people, I'm sure, to speculate about Upset and Mickey coming in. We know they've been duoed, maybe had some links and ties and rumors going on there. Nothing done yet, nothing official. We don't have really anything to report just yet in terms of what's actually going on with Fnatic, but this does mean that June and Noah are going to be reunited and back together on GiantX, which I do think is very exciting. Obviously, they were a bot lane that had ups and downs, but seemed like they were starting to figure a lot of things out together towards the end of last season, and I think they are a bot lane that many people wanted to see more of together. I think Fnatic fans really, really enjoyed both of these players. Again, like I said, especially towards the end of the year, I think all LEC fans can acknowledge that these players are both very, very good individually. They seem to work well together, and keeping this bot lane together and allowing that synergy and partnership to grow is actually going to be very, very cool. And I do think that this is a massive pickup for GiantX. And yeah, this obviously, like I said, brings Noah and June back together, pairs them up with Jackie's in the mid lane, and that's all we have confirmed so far on our transfer hub. Obviously, now with GiantX locking in more members of their lineup, they're gonna have to still figure out that top side. This does complicate things for certain players, since Noah and June are obviously both imports. Keeping this Korean import bot lane together means they do not have any import slots left available. I know Spica was one of those names heavily tied to GiantX, and something that people thought would be really, really cool. Obviously, since we have the import of Jojo Pune coming over from NA to the LEC, people were saying and talking about, and we had seen that GiantX had actually shown some interest in Spica and bringing him over as well, being that second player to be imported over into the LEC. But now that is no longer possible. GiantX is obviously going to have to go with both resident players in the jungle and in the top lane. We know previously GiantX had also shown some interest in Yike, and obviously that did not work out. As far as the actual details of June going over from Fnatic to GiantX, some of the things that Eros told me was here that SK and Rogue also had interest in June. Now we can see there's not very many support positions left open. There's not very many positions left open, period, in the LEC. But we can see here Rogue, SK, GiantX, and Fnatic are kind of those four teams that we do not have a support locked for just yet. Rogue has been tied to so many different players this offseason, and it seems like obviously we know Rogue still has their whole thing going on of trying to sell their slot and trying to get a new organization in place for 2025. We know Wooloo and some of our other guys have talked about how right now Rogue can't actually lock in any players for next season or get these deals officially done. They still can talk to players and still can try to get verbals in place and try to get things lined up, but they're in a very, very weird position that does make some things awkward, that does make some things challenging. So Rogue, seems interested in a ton of these players. They seem like they're linked to a ton of big names. They seem like they're trying their best to put together a good roster, but then these players keep ending up other places. And like I said, a lot of these things are getting locked in. And then also SK, who right now has GenX, Isma, and Reeker, trying to figure out their bot lane situation as well. They were showing some interest in June, but ultimately, obviously, June choosing to stay together with his bot lane duo, stay together with Noah, and go to that GiantX team. Jackie's another player that people are really, really excited about. And obviously, GiantX, by going out and getting both of these guys from Fnatic, is showing that they are committed to being a strong team in 2025, which should hopefully be attractive to other free agent candidates as well. Again, I don't have news or information about who the top side of GiantX is going to be just yet, but also I think it should give fans some confidence that if June and Noah were both willing to go over to this team, that they probably have some pretty interesting players lined up or some interesting player ideas and stuff like that. But yeah, kind of one of the biggest things was that this does mean that Spica Spica is no longer a valid potential option for jungle for GiantX, which I know is something that a lot of people were wanting to see. So we will have to see now, obviously, where Spica is going to end up in the LCS, all different kinds of possibilities and things for him, I'm sure, as well. Also, another thing that Eros did want to note here is that there was no buyout from Fnatic, letting June go over to GiantX for free. Kind of an interesting thing there to note. Obviously, throughout history, there's been some big buyouts. Sometimes, money can change hands. Fnatic, we just heard, when Nightshare left Fnatic, they were talking about having some budget issues and maybe not being able to have all the support staff and coaching staff and everything that he wanted in place. So maybe some people would argue or say that, hey, maybe Fnatic should try and get some money for some of their players. If they're losing two very talented players, they should try to get some money in return. But also the buyout and transfer market and all this stuff has just changed so much over the past couple of years. Teams are not throwing around money as much. Teams are not throwing around buyouts as much. And obviously Fnatic wants to keep good relations with all their players and all that stuff as well. So that's just kind of something interesting to note there. But yes, obviously this is a very, very big deal. And like I said, this does open up both bot lane positions for Fnatic. I know there was a lot of people, a lot of Fnatic fans hoping they would hang on to Noah, a lot of Fnatic fans hoping they would hang on to June or both of them. But if Fnatic does get some exciting players there in to replace them, maybe Fnatic fans will still be okay. Maybe this will be an upgraded version of Fnatic in 2025. I don't know. I know a lot of fans are a little bit confused because they're like, was the bot lane really the problem in 2024? Is fixing that bot lane really going to make us a better team? Is changing the bot lane going to make us a better team? Or are we going to be worse because of it? And then also you always have to worry about when your good players leave and go to other organizations that you're also making other teams better. Now, ultimately, at the end of the day, making your team and region and league better can be good and bad. You have to compete against them, but then you also get to practice with them, scrim against them, and play against them, which if all the other teams are better and stronger, it can lift up everyone, but you still need to make sure your team is strong enough and competitive enough and all that stuff. And like I said, people are going to continue speculating and discussing all those different Fnatic bot lane options. And since this deal is getting done, obviously with June going over to GiantX, I would kind of assume we're going to have that Fnatic bot lane sooner rather than later. Since they're letting those guys go, they must know, or I assume they must know that they have some players lined up, or they're going to be able to get some players or whatever. And as soon as we have that Fnatic bot lane news for you guys, obviously we'll be bringing you guys that news on the Sheep Esports website and on YouTube and on all of our different social media platforms and all that good stuff. But yes, for today, the big news coming from Eros is that June, out of Fnatic, headed to GiantX, pairing back up with Noah, giving the team 2 imports, like I said, meaning that they're going to be needing to go with resident players in those other positions, meaning Spica can't go there, no buyout. He had interest from SK and Rogue, and we will have to see what happens here. But like I said, this is the best place to find all that coverage of the offseason and all the latest esports news. We'll be bringing that stuff to you guys when we know what's going on. But pretty much every video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace. Everything we are doing here at Sheep Esports for the rest of 2024 is powered by Holy. This is an awesome company that makes great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier than the competition as well. They sent me this starter set deluxe, which comes with a Holy shaker and then 14 individual servings of Holy Energy, Holy Hydration, and Holy Iced Tea. So you get a ton of awesome stuff for a great price. And if you want to get even better price, check out the first link in the description below. Use discount code SE5 to get €5 off your first order, or SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. If you guys want to help continue to allow us to provide the amazing coverage of both Worlds and the offseason that you guys know and love, definitely check out Holy, buy some stuff. It would mean the world to us. Thanks.